So a common question people ask is, how do you find an amazing camping spot like this all to yourself? Hi guys, one of the biggest expenses cycling around Norway can be accommodation. In this video I'm going to explain 5 budget-friendly options I use when cycling around the country. I'll explain how to find them and when is the best time to use them. My main go-to is Google satellite images. Decide how far you're going to travel that day, then find the endpoint on Google Maps. Look at the terrain. Is it suitable for wild camping following the rules that I mentioned in my other video? If you've not seen that video, it's here. I highly recommend you see that. Look for some small side roads or lay-by which are close to the road but out of sight. Look at water availability, how far you are from human settlement, your altitude. The higher up you are, the colder the night. So all this plays a factor in finding the right place to camp. Once you've chosen a spot, remember it might not be as it seems when you turn up. So always have a backup option if required. Ioverlander and freecamp.no. Both of these sites are mainly for camper vans etc, but can be helpful to cyclists too. There are other sites as well, but these two seem to be the best for Norway. Freecamp.no offers a book you can purchase along with some free sites which are promoted on their site. You can view a sample of the book on their website. Note, I don't own this book, I've never used it, but perhaps it may be helpful for you. Ioverlander has over 500 free camping locations for Norway. However, a lot of these might not be suitable for bikepacking or are against wild camping rules. Be cautious if using this site. I personally don't like to promote wild camping spots because maybe too many people will then end up using that location, and then of course that may cause some problems. I believe wild camping is a skill that you must learn yourself. I've found some great locations, I've found some not so great locations, but it's all a learning experience, it's all an education. Number 1, access to drinkable water. Number 2, dry, flat and soft ground, it goes without saying. Number 3, out of sight from the main road and other people. Number 4, provide shelter from the elements such as wind and rain. Number 5, sun location, and what I mean by that is make sure you're not in a shadow that in the morning the sun misses your tent. It's going to be cold in the mornings usually. Make sure that sun is shining on you. It's 6:30 in the morning. It's a little bit chilly this morning because the sun is just hiding behind the hills over there. In addition, in the far north where the sun doesn't set, you might actually want to be in the shadow because when the sun is shining on your tent all through the morning, it can be incredibly warm, more or less like an oven in your tent. And trust me, you will not be able to sleep.
It's 6:20 in the morning right now. It's just so warm in this tent, so I'm going to have to get out in a minute or so. But look at the views. Oh, look at the views.
Number 6, bathing opportunities to clean yourself. Lakes are great, the ocean not so much unless you can get that salt water off you afterwards. And number 7, a spectacular view. Of course, we all want a great view whilst wild camping. Campsites are a good option when it's cold or if the weather is bad. They're also a good option when you're in really busy tourist locations and wild camping is not prohibited. There's always a little kitchen or somewhere to keep you dry and warm. You've also got options to power your electrics, you've got hot showers and places to clean your clothes. And they can also just bring peace of mind being in a safe environment. The best way to find a campsite is to go onto Google Maps and to type in campsite near and then put in the location that you're cycling towards. If you're sick of tenting, a lot of campsites also offer small cabins that range from like 40 euros up to maybe 80 euros, depending on the location and the facilities. These are a great option, especially when the weather is really, really bad. Warmshowers.org is a cycling community website that allows you to get in touch with cycling hosts in the areas that you will be passing by. It's kind of a couch surfing for cyclists. How it works, you sign up and pay $30 to be a member of the community. Once you've filled in your profile and wrote a little bit about yourself, you will have access to a map with all host locations and contact details. Don't expect the first host you contact will reply and offer you lodging for the night. Some won't reply, some will reply 2 weeks later. Some might have further questions before they agree to host you. It can be time consuming. The accommodation offered by each host varies. Some will allow you to camp in their garden and just give you access to a toilet. Others may have a private room and a shower and cook you a meal. You'll see what each host offers in their profile. From my experience, you should contact the host at least 2 to 3 days before you plan to arrive. The benefits of this sort of accommodation is 1, it's free. 2, it's a great way to meet fellow bikepackers. Number 3, your host can provide you with great local knowledge of the road ahead. Number 4, if you have a bike problem, the host might have the tools, might be able to help you fix it. Number 5, most of the hosts are located in cities. Cities are usually quite expensive to stay in, and also you can put your bike somewhere secure at the host's house and then go around the city not having to worry about your bike. So there are many benefits to Warm Showers. I highly recommend that you join the organisation. You should be aware of this app and how it works. So I'm not going to go into detail about that, but what I will mention is that I find this a great option in the less touristy locations. So for example, I was in a situation once when it was really, really bad weather, and I went onto Airbnb and found a 60 square meter apartment in a small town that was going to be passing through. It was 40 euros for one night. I booked it at 4 p.m. The owner met me at 6 p.m. the same day and handed over the keys. It was perfect for my situation, and I enjoyed eating a pizza, watching Netflix as the rain hammered down outside. In popular areas, prices for an apartment will be of course a lot higher. However, you can also just book a room in someone's house, but check that they have storage for your bike first. Note, in places like Lofoten Islands, everything is booked out months in advance for the summer period. There are hundreds of cabins all around the remote areas of Norway. Most of them are managed by DNT, the Norwegian Trekking Association. The smaller and more remote cabins are unmanned, and they're usually for hikers and skiers as there's no road access. People who use these cabins are members of the organisation and understand the rules and responsibilities while staying there. This is a subject in itself, and I'm not going to go into it. It's not really related to bikepacking or bike touring. However, the largest staffed mountain cabins are usually accessible through a gravel road or even a paved road. For example, the famous off-road bike route through the mountains called Ioverlander has a big cabin at a place called Finse that you could possibly stay while doing this ride. A bed in a shared dorm isn't cheap though. It's probably around 40 to 50 euros. A private room is 70 to up to 100 or maybe more euros. There's no TV or minibar, bear that in mind. You are paying for the location, not the facilities. But they usually offer full board, so that includes an evening meal and breakfast in the morning, and the cabins are a really nice place to stay. It's a kind of a cultural experience. You're going to be around mainly Norwegians who are going to be enjoying friluftsliv. Friluftsliv means outdoor life in Norway, and it's fundamental to the culture and the traditions here. Finding these cabins is not easy. You need to do your own research. They're not widely promoted or advertised. It's a unique association used mainly by Norwegians. Links about this organisation and the other options that I've mentioned can be found on my Facebook page. See the description below. I believe if you're going to have an enjoyable time in Norway, you should consider at least 3 of these options. Wild camp in proportion, uneven ground to camp on, cold mornings and nights, mosquitoes attacking you, and poor hygiene becomes unpleasant and tiring after a few days. In addition, if you stay at a campsite every night, it can get a little bit boring putting your tent up and down. Don't be strict with your budget. Treat yourself once in a while to some nice accommodation. A pizza, beer, and a movie is a welcome break from a lot of cycling and tenting. If you haven't already, watch my video on the rules and responsibilities to wild camping. It's just here. If you're unsure what to bring for bikepacking in Norway, trust me, it's not easy with massive fluctuations in temperature. Watch my video here. But I did forget in this video one very, very important thing, and that is an eye mask. During the summer, it's bright all the time, and if you want to try and sleep in a tent, you really need an eye mask. True story, I always forget an eye mask, and last time I went bikepacking, I forgot it. So I'm traveling through this small little village on day 1, and I see that there's a pharmacy. I go in, I'm looking for an eye mask. Couldn't see one. I went to the counter. Have you got any eye masks? She said, oh yes, I've got one left. Do you want it? Yes, 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 please, please, please. She put it in a little bag for me. I paid, went out of the pharmacy, took it out of the box. True story.